Hi, this is Jelly and I will be your teacher for today. And this is 21st Century Literature. In our last video, we talked about the pre-colonial types of literature that existed in the Philippines. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Spanish colonial literature in the Philippines. Quick question, how many years are we colonized by the Spanish? The correct answer is 333. That means we are colonized by the Spanish for 333 years. That is on 1565 to 1898. 16th century was the start of the deprivation of the indigenous Philippine literature. Do you know why? Because Spanish colonial government got into the scene. They were able to manipulate literature by monopolizing it under the religious orders. Literature evolved mainly on the themes of European and Spanish culture and, of course, the Roman Catholic religion. Let's proceed to literary influences during Spanish colonization. Do you know the first ever book that was printed in the Philippines? It is Doctrina Christiana, or Christian Doctrine. It was printed in the year 1593 by the Dominican Press. Libro de la Lengua Tagala by Fernando Bagumanta is a Tagalog translation to the Spanish lines, still with the superiority of the Spanish language. Passion is influenced by the Spanish context of Christianity. At least, they embodied several Filipino sentiments and values, like the feeling of Filipino mother towards a suffering son. Let's proceed to the Filipino writers during the Spanish colonial period. The Filipino writers in the Spanish colonial period became conscious for the search of freedom. Pasyon dapat ipag-alab ng puso by Marcelo H. Del Pilar expressed his rebellious writing and style was identified. Pascual Pobletes Patnubay Sabinyagan associated Filipino struggle for independence with Jesus' life. Jose Rizal's Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo made a very powerful contributions to the awakening of Filipinos as it introduced the rejection of the Spanish rule. He also influenced the succeeding writers. The narrative poems, Awit and Corrido, talk about the world of royals, warriors, and lovers. That is actually the basic concept of Florante at Laura. Comedia is a theatrical tradition by Filipinos, sometimes in a form of singing. It describes conflicts between Muslims and Christians, and it was used by the Spanish to promote Christianity in the Philippines. Alright, that's it for the literature that existed during the Spanish colonial period here in the Philippines. Do you have any questions? Good. So let us proceed to our quiz. Please get any sort or any types of paper, anything. And let's see if you can still recall what we have discussed for today. Now, in each questions, I will give you 5 seconds to answer. Are you ready? Let's go. Number 1. It is the first book that was ever published in the Philippines. Letter A, Pasyon. Letter B, Libro de Lengua Tagala. Letter C, Doctrina Christiana. Letter D, Comedia. Number 2, it is a theatrical tradition of Filipinos, sometimes in the form of singing. It describes conflicts between Christians and Muslims. Letter A, Comedia. Letter B, Noli Me Tangere. Letter C, El Filibusterismo. Letter D, Zarzuela. Number 3, this is the book of Marcelo H. Del Pilar that expresses his rebellious writing and style. Letter A, Pasyon Dapat Ipag-alab ng Puso. Letter B, Noli Me Tangere. Letter C, El Filibusterismo. And letter D, Comedia. Number 4, this narrative poems talks about the world of royals, warriors, and lovers. Letter A, Comedia. Letter B, Awit and Corrido. Letter C, Zarzuela. Letter D, Pasyon. How many years were we colonized by the Spanish? A, 332 years. B, 333 years. C, 334 years. Letter D, 335 years. Alright, it's time to check your own paper. Here are the answers to our quiz. Out of 5, how many did you get? 3? Congratulations if you got 3, 4, and 5. That means you have understood our discussion for today about the colonial literature. Now, if you got lower than 3, don't worry, you can just replay the video until you can fully understand and do some research on your own. Remember, you are accountable for your own learning. Alright? So, this has been your teacher Jelly, and see you again next time. Bye!